Journeys is recorded at Doghouse Studios. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube to keep the conversation going. Remember, if you like the content, like the content. Welcome back to Journeys. Today is April 27th. I'm Chad Jones, and today with me in studio is one of my best pals, Rob LaLiberte. Rob, how you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing all right. Can't really complain. Just living the dream. Mm-hmm.
And what is that dream for you?
I didn't think that far ahead when I said that comment.
So
I lied to you. I'm not living the dream.
No, you're living some nightmare, I guess, or at least somewhere between a nightmare and a dream.
I mean, I might be living somebody else's dream, but it sure as shit ain't mine.
Yeah. And that's kind of like my first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is like in your head, you have a vision of yourself and like where you thought you'd be at the age of 30.
Yeah.
Comparing to where you are now, how different and drastic is that?
Like if I were to go back in time and confront my 16-year-old self and give them like a little peek into the future, they'd probably punch me in the face and be like, what the hell, man? Like, that's not how this was supposed to be. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'll be like, what's wrong with us, you mean?
So for your 16-year-old self, what is it that he would have, like, what did he think at 16 you'd be at 30?
Well, I think it was kind of, I guess you could say like the American dream type thing, the house, the family, the career, the, knowing the direction your life is going, all these basic, obtainable, regular, normal things that happen for every single person. What we were, shown and taught and told our entire lives growing up that this is the way things worked, to then get to the point where it turns out that that's not how things work anymore, and we're the people at the forefront of finding that out. The whole 30's the new 20, because you hit 30, you still have no career, you have nothing that you really own, you're still kind of at like the starting line sometimes. So it just seems like a bit of a disconnect or a bit of a chasm between, where, society led me to believe that I would be at this certain point in time compared to where I actually am.
Yeah, and I think it's really hard to predict at 16. Like, at 16, I was like, I don't care about 30-year-old me. I really don't. However, there was always this kind of vision of like, okay, this is what I'm going to look like. This is how I'm going to feel. This is how I'm going to think. And then you get to that point, and you're like, wow, I still feel like a 16-year-old just in a 30-year-old body. And I don't think I've really made too much progress because all of these things I've kind of done haven't really added up to the thing I thought it would add up to. It's like being told, here's a math equation. You're like, here's the answer. And the teacher's like, no, you're fucking wrong. It's actually this thing the whole time, but it's going to change, and I hope you get used to it now.
Yeah, good luck. Figure it out.
With that, and comparing again to the 16-year-old self, you, would you necessarily consider right now your life as successful as you want it to be? Are you on your way to being successful? What does that success look like to you?
So personally for myself, I have like two completely kind of separate, scales that I judge myself upon. So, I have who I am as a person and like my interpersonal relationships and like the people that I have in my life. That's all, one complete universe onto itself, which, I'm happy with. Like, I like who I am. I like the people that are in my life. I got a really good group of friends. You know, I love my parents. Great to have around. So, like, that portion of things, no problem. I'm content. I'm happy. But then on the other side, for the other measurement stick is, like I was saying before, like the perceived, like, spot on the roadmap that I would be once I hit this age, career-wise, family-wise, bank balance-wise. Like, I never would have imagined that after all my years of hard work and busting my ass, I would be broke with no career, no kind of concept for, like, what my future might even look like. And, any chance of moving out of my parents' house and owning a house is just completely out the fucking window. Like, that's never going to happen. So it's those two worlds that are extremely separated that, I wish I could be more focused on world one, but the only problem is you need world two to be able to take care of world one, because without money, you can't fucking do anything. You can't live unless you have money.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where you gotta pay your way to be alive, and that's not. It's just the reality of life, and it sucks. I mean, I've always been of the mindset of, like, why are we doing this? Why are we constantly grinding for the next paycheck just so we can be alive? Like, things are nice, but, like, in order to actually have a house or have a place to live or have any sort of semblance of a human in the culture we live in, you need to have a job, or you need to have some kind of income in whatever way that is. We all really are just slaves to the grind in that facet. Do you think that you put too much value on that dollar, or do you think that it's just inherently because of societal pressures that we all have to put that value there?
Yeah, like,
and
we don't have a choice, like,
yeah.
The things that I enjoy doing, like, I enjoy going out, being with my friends, I enjoy playing hockey, I enjoy, traveling and going places. All of those things cost money to do, and the only way to get money is to work day in and day out to save up to be able to do those things.
Yeah, and you're hoping that those, like, because out of the week, how much of the week do we really spend actually making money for ourselves to do stuff? Like, I feel like at least 50% of the week is gone to bills and expenses. It's like, you work till Wednesday and you're like, oh, well, Thursday, Friday is really just money that I'm hoping I can put into savings, and maybe, in a month I can get myself a nice pair of sneakers or something. I don't know what people collect anymore.
Yeah, but, like, I'll get my paycheck and I'll be like, wow, looks great. The only problem is all my bills come out the following week. So I'm like, yeah, it looks good right now, but I know I can't touch any of this because in a week it's all going to be gone. So
exactly. But you're also working remotely now, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely dreadful. Like,
well, in the way you're doing it, it seems like it could be done in a way more a convenient way, I guess. Like, they could care about their employees and be like, hey, we're working remotely, let's just do this Monday to Friday for now, and have reasonable hours, and have people that they know can't fill the day with mundane work.
Yeah, like, the schedule being different would definitely, like, team morale right now is at an all-time low, because and
this is like a relatively new work environment too, right?
Yeah, so it's a Canadian-wide company that has storefronts throughout Canada. So they're opening up their first ever storefront in our area, but construction's delayed, so they have us working online all day, just trying to do, like, the live chats, like, from the website when customers go onto the website. But the problem is, out of all these live chats, most of these customers don't respond. They just close the window because they're like, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just looking for what I'm looking for. Leave me alone. So when company wide, there'll be about, like 15, 16,000 live chats sent out per day. And maybe like 10% of that will be a customer actually responding. And out of those, 15, 16,000 live chats, we're only selling about 0.24% of the time, or like 0.45% of the time. So less than 0.5% of a time is that live chat going to turn into a sale. So when you have to sit there for 9.5 hours a day, just sending out these live chats, knowing full well that nobody's going to respond to you. And even if they do, out of all these chats that you send, you're going to sell maybe like one thing a day if you're lucky,
And that's if you're lucky and you're good at the job.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that. I mean, obviously I'm not on here to talk ish about your employer. But yeah, obviously they probably haven't done the best training either, so you're like half trained doing it all remotely, and that just
no, like the training was fine, but the training definitely focuses a lot more on the in-store portion. But when you can't,
person-to-person portion.
But when you can't be in store, so that's why, it's definitely disheartening when you go through all day just sending out these chats for either people to not respond or people to just be so unbelievably like unrealistic, and then just have them like be like, oh, well, this is what I want for this price, and if you can't do it, go fuck yourself, see you later, and leave the chat. Like, it's hard to stay motivated, especially when the building is still like, a month and a half to 2 months away from being finished, if we're lucky. And we've already been at this for a month and a half.
That's crazy.
And then plus the schedule, because we have to work 3 days during the week where we're at our computers for 9.5 hours. And then every single Saturday and Sunday, we're at our computers from 10 until 5. Achieving absolutely nothing. Like,
why are you guys cold calling people on the weekend?
Well, we're not cold calling. It's people go onto the website on the weekend, and when they go onto the website, a little box pops up in the bottom right-hand corner that says, hey, if you're, need anything, feel free to chat with us, and we'll sell you what you're trying to buy.
Okay. So, you're like, help?
We're salespeople, so when somebody responds to it, they're like, oh, we're looking for whatever. Then I can be like, okay, perfect. We have this in stock. It's this much money. Do you want to place an order for it? I'll take your credit card over the phone right now. We'll get this done.
But doesn't the website do that?
Yeah, but the website doesn't discount them the money.
Oh, and you have the ability to do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course everybody's always like, oh, give me the best price. And it's like, you're buying one, like, you're buying one thing for like $500. There's no fucking discount for you. Pay the goddamn money and get lost. Like,
oh man.
But like,
yeah, I'm buying a $50 toaster. What can you do for me on that?
Yeah, nothing. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're like, no, like, get out of here. And like
buying like a bottom of the line like $75 blender that like has 4 settings on it. Can you knock off like 50%? Just knock off 50% for me.
Yeah, like these people want this shit for free, and it's like, listen here, fucko. That's not gonna happen.
Oh man, that's great. So I mean, I know you obviously pretty well, and I know you'd be more of the motivated type to be like, can I just have monetary value based on like my contribution to everyone around me. Like you said, world A, where you're like, anytime I've needed you, you've been there at a drop of the hat. I remember the first time you met my wife when you were our Uber driver, and she's like, "There's no water in here," and you're like, "No," and she's like, "This is the worst Uber ever." And I think that was the first time you guys ever talked, and that was pretty funny. So we ended up going up to like North York or something. I think we went to
we went to Frogs or whatever.
Yeah, we were you drove all the way to Etobicoke to drive all the way like back down the street from your place. It was awesome.
Because I was living in North York at the time, so the bar was only like 2 blocks away from our apartment.
Yeah, that I definitely appreciate that. But you are definitely like one of the sweetest people I know. Definitely one of the most caring people. And if there was just like a box in like government subsidies where you're like, I'm just an amazing person, you could just check that box and get paid. But that's not how the world works, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm angry a lot and I say a lot of mean things, but I got a heart of gold. What can I say?
Exactly. So in your futuristic society, how do people get valued based on their I don't know, that defining quality, that heart of gold quality? How do people get paid on that?
See, like the thing is, like, I'm not anti-work and I'm not like lazy or like whatever. Like, I got my first job when I was in grade 3. I started umpiring t-ball when I was 9 years old.
Yes, the good old umping kids.
I've literally been working for the last 21 years of my life.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I've just become
kids
so disenfranchised by like the whole thing. Like, you know, like I said, like growing up, I assumed that all I had to do was just keep working hard and continue working hard and doing my best and working hard and continuing to work hard and working hard and doing my best would, you know, pay dividends in the end. But real life fucking doesn't. Like, just wasting your time. Why bother working hard when it's not going to work out anyways? So that's why I just kind of, I don't even give the good old college try anymore. Like, I'll give like 50% maybe. If like I'm feeling really motivated, you'll get 50% from me.
Which is funny because I feel like with you, if you gave the good old college try, a lot of the time it work out to your benefit. I mean, I've seen you with women. You have a way you talk and a way you say things, and just like strangers, like girls at the grocery store when we go by, or just people that like make comments with my kids, and you're just there. You always can make them laugh, and I feel like that's one thing is like giving it the old college try. In doing that, especially with you with women, like I could see you just be like hand over fist for numbers, just because you do have that heart of gold and you are a catch. But I don't know, I just feel like there's something holding you back, and I want to know, like, what is it that holds you back from following through with not just women, but like a lot of things in general?
I don't know, I can only assume that the only thing holding me back is myself. But I mean, like I said, I've tried hard, I've worked hard, I've tried to do everything the best way that I can, and it always seems that, you know, I'll get to a point where things are finally starting to look up, and then, you know, whatever cosmic forces there are or aren't in this fucking godforsaken world just goes like, not today, motherfucker. You got a giant ass dip coming right up for you, just for no fucking reason whatsoever. Like, hey, congratulations, you started feeling good for once. Not gonna last very long because, fuck you. There's gonna be a global pandemic now. Oh wow, things are starting to, you know, get back together. Just kidding, we're gonna lock everything down again. You're gonna lose your job for the, you know, 3rd time in 2 years. Oh, you've got like a new position, it's going to be great, you know, like a good chance to earn, you know, a good amount of money doing something that's not too hard. You know, they're opening up a new store, getting ready, finishing the training. Oh, turns out they didn't build the fucking building, so now you got to wait another 3 fucking months for that. So now you're stuck online doing this stupid ass bullshit. And then, after a month and a half of doing that, you get to the point where you're like, this isn't worth it. This is miserable. Like, I thought I had a good opportunity here, and then something completely out of my control, like a building not being fucking built. Like, literally a week before the grand opening, they sent the sign guy to put the sign up on the fucking building, and he's like, hey, there's no building here.
There's just no building. Nothing.
It's a boxed frame.
Jeez, that's embarrassing for them.
Like, how do you not fucking know? They're like, well, we didn't hear anything from the landlord, so we just assumed everything was on schedule. Why would you assume that?
Man, this, I don't know. Windsor doesn't exactly seem like a place that's screaming for, like, easy employment. Like, I imagine if you really want to go work in a factory or work somewhere that's, like, super laborious, you could get a job no problem, but this just sounds like a whole kind of mental drain on you.
Like, I don't want to work in a factory. Like, the thing for me, if I want to get a career, I need to go back to school. But to go back to school, that costs money. And it also involves knowing what you would want to go back to school for. And honestly, like, I have no fucking idea. Like,
you just get one of those wheels that the weatherman used to judge the weather, put a blindfold on with all sorts of courses on the wheel, and just throw it and get 3 darts, figure it out, apply for school, and go in for whatever after.
Oh, you mean the Toronto Maple Leafs third period Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. Are we going to show up for the third? Let's see. Answer says give up a 4-goal lead.
I was really hoping that Washington would come back against them when they were losing 6-2. I was really hoping they would come back because I had money on Washington winning. So,
of course you did. But yes, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really enjoyed this conversation. I had a blast. As you know, I love you, man, and just I'm so happy you're involved with this. Do you have any final comments, any final things you want to say out there to the audience at all?
Yeah. Don't trust your government, kids. No, I'm just kidding. Don't trust anybody. Don't even trust yourself. See that reflection in the mirror? Untrustworthy.
Wise words. So
no, I got nothing of value or substance as a sign-off line. But just keep your head up and keep your stick on the ice.
There you go. Very wise words, Rob. Thank you so much for coming on. This was a great episode. I really like going back and listening to it. And for April 27th, I'm Chad Jones. This has been Journeys, and I will talk to you on another time.